Welcome to the Ubuntu show. Ubuntu meaning humanity towards others, philosophical sense to mean the belief in a universal bond of sharing that connects all humanity. And the Ubuntu show was created after my uncle sadly took his life about 3 years ago, and I went on a rediscovery road. And I went searching and reading up. And one of the things that I found really profound was that not many people talk about their life. And hearing your life journey can be cathartic and it can be quite therapeutic. And so this is what I've dedicated the Ubuntu show to, is to people sharing their life stories. And that was born out of my uncle taking his life some years ago. So this guest that I've got on today, I'm really excited about having this guest on, because I actually didn't think you'd say yes.
So about me, show.
So Elaine Clarke-Williams, you're a Black police officer, aren't you, Elaine?
Well, I'm not an officer, but I work for Greater Manchester Police.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us what your role is?
Okay, so I work for Greater Manchester Police. My official title is Head of Profession, Neighbourhoods, Confidence and Equality. That's a strategic role around neighbourhood policing, the equality, diversity, human rights strategy, and we've got volunteers and specials as well that I look after. It's a mishmash of areas that are crucial and critical to the force. But most of them are police staff. We do have some officers in there, and I do manage police officers, but a lot of them are police staff.
Okay, and how long have you been in the force?
Oh, I joined the force on the 3rd of August, 2015.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you was going to say like loads of years then.
No, 2015.
Wow. Okay, so let's start.
Okay.
So when you was born?
June the 3rd, 1965 at Queen's Park Hospital, Blackburn, Lancashire.
Should be giving me the dates and the names of the staff that worked that night next. So when
it was a pivotal moment in history.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah. So you know when you came home, what month was you born?
June.
When you came home, who was in your family?
Okay, so in my family already, I'm one of 6, I'm number 5.
Wow.
Named in alphabetical order. So I already had Ada, Brian, Christine, Donna. I was Elaine, and there was my mum and dad.
Okay.
Sybil and Io.
Oh, where are your parents from?
My mum's Antiguan, and my dad is Nigerian.
Oh, that's a nice mix. That's a really nice mix. Well, I think it's good because there's sometimes a segregation with the Caribbean and Nigeria, isn't there? So that's good.
It's complicated.
Yeah, I went to Nigeria. I actually didn't have a great time. Yeah, have you been?
No, and that's the one thing that I've got a daughter. She's 31.
Yeah.
And I promised that I would take her to Nigeria. I don't really know my Nigerian family, but
okay.
Nonetheless, I'm going to go back. And it's just me and Ashley going to see Nigeria because that's what I should do.
Yeah. I'm going to take my boys back as well. So I know that one. So you was the 5th sibling of 5 at the time.
Number 5.
They must have been really excited, the new member of the family coming home.
Do you know what? I don't know, but if it was me, I think I would have been not excited, but just flipping heck another one, because we were very poor.
Yeah.
Very poor. So another child meant more mouth to feed, more work to be done. So it was really challenging. Yeah. Although I was a baby and there wasn't anything to do with it.
No.
It was, our life was very, very poor.
What was your earliest memories? Because they say when you start to walk
do you know,
talk, it kind of changes.
I can't remember my I can't remember anything as early as walking and talking. That the house was so busy. What I was renowned for and what I liked doing, I liked to pretend I was asleep, so I could hear what was going on in the background. So that was what I used to do a lot. I would pretend I was asleep or sit quietly so that I sort of blended in and could listen to what was going on.
Did your older brothers and sisters do a lot for you?
Well, because there were 6, there ended up being 6 of us. What my mum used to do was, there were Ada and Brian were the oldest. Christine and Donna were the next 2. So Christine looked after Donna. And I ended up looking after my sister Gwen. So I can't really remember anybody doing anything for me. They probably must have done, but I can't remember it. I just remember when I was old enough to understand what an iron was or a potato peeler, I was working. I was ironing clothes, peeling potatoes, like a normal Caribbean African family.
Yeah.
Jobs to do.
Yeah. What about when you first started school, nursery and primary school?
Oh God, nursery. I remember nursery distinctly because I was like, every family has the run to the litter.
Yeah.
So it was me. So I was born and I had crossed eyes. Oh no, sorry, I had a squint. And my earliest memory was being a little just free-flowing, tatty-haired girl at nursery. There's a picture of me, and I'm so cross-eyed, it's unbelievable. But I've got 2 mates on my shoulder, and I've got my arm round them, and we're laughing. So crossed. It was unbelievable. It really was unbelievable.
So did you wear glasses from a young age?
I wore glasses. I wore national health glasses, and in those days,
I did too. Yeah.
You
pink
either had pink, ones, blue, or the tortoise shell.
Yeah. I had them. I had the pink square ones.
Not only did I have the glasses, I had an eye patch as well. So I'm a little tatty haired black girl. I've got some kind of problem with my scalp that's making. I've got national health glasses with an eye patch on. So I wasn't one of the cool kids.
But you sounded happy though.
Do you know, I loved just getting out of the house.
Yeah.
And I must have loved nursery because I was always, I maybe have 3 pictures of me in nursery, and I've always got people round me and I'm laughing. And it must have been good. I remember
because you had friends. Did you have lots of friends? Yeah.
I had loads of friends. But when we were younger, we had friends at school or friends at nursery, but we didn't go out and we didn't go to their houses, and they never came to our house.
Okay.
So it was school.
The main impact of friendship.
Yeah.
So what were your interests at school?
So by the time I got to school, I had Ada, Brian, Christine and Donna go before me. So I could read, I could write, I had a level of understanding of complex issues because I just used to sit and listen to things and watch music. Music was my favourite programme. Because and it was dead serious.
Yeah.
So I really liked handwriting, and I really liked reading. But we used to read, I don't know if anybody else used to do it, but it was ITA, and it was Janet and John.
I remember Janet and John.
And they spelt John, Jon. So I had to make the transformation, because when I went to school, I was reading newspapers. Read Janet and John, and I'm going, well, this isn't the right spelling. So I had to, it was like learning a different language.
Yeah. Did you know at that point, did you have any idea at that point what you may have wanted to be?
At that point, junior school, all that your parents drummed into you was, you better make something of yourself, you better do something.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what it was. It had to be legal.
Yeah.
Had to be related to some exams, but so it was just, the focus was on, I just need to do something. I don't know what it is, but I just need to do something. So at that point, no.
Okay. Did your family go to church, or did you have any outside activities?
Oh, we went to a church called St. Silas. No, sorry, it wasn't St. Silas. That was the school that we went to. I've forgotten the name of the church we used to go to, and that's really awful because it was a main staple Sunday gig. And on Mother's Day, we used to go, all 6 of us used to traipse down to, and on Mother's Day, they give you a little posy for your mum.
Yeah.
My mum ended up with a bouquet of flowers because it was
6 of you.
Yeah. Do you know what? It escapes me, the church, and that's really bad. It'll come back to me before.
Yeah. So you would have gone to church on a Sunday. Did you do any activities in the week?
When we were little, no, it was very much stay at home. When I went to secondary school, my escape was sport.
Okay.
So I would do anything that got me to stay longer at school, to go early to school, and to get me home weekend.
Have you got a track from your teenage? No, have you got a track from prior to you being a teenager?
So one of the things I used to, my mum had, and I've still got it now, a little plastic record player with batteries, and I used to put myself in the middle bedroom and play this record over and over again. And my mum used to just come to the door and laugh and just say, "Elaine, again?" I think it was Bob and Marcia and Young, Gifted and Black.
Okay, yeah, that is a track that.
It was about 6. And
yeah.
Not understanding all the words.
Yeah.
But just knowing, well, I was young and I was gifted and I was black, and I had to keep reminding myself of that. So yeah, that would be the track that took me. It carried me. It carried me a long way. That
and
track.
I'm assuming Burnley was a predominantly white area.
Blackburn was predominantly white. We were the only black family in Blackburn at this 1960. I was 65. We were the only black family, so it wasn't unheard of. We weren't allowed to go out on our own. We had to go out in twos, and it always happened to us because my mum always dressed us up in white socks, dark skirts. We always looked dead smart, and we always had a smiley disposition. And then you'd see a couple of older people walking towards you, and whichever sister it was, we'd go, all right, they're going to come up to us and they're going to say, "Hello, love," which means, "Do you speak English?"
Oh, so, no!
They always used to go, you could see them, "Hello, love," and we go, "Hello." "Where are you from?" "Well, we're just from down the road." "No, where are you from?" We just go, "We're from Preston New Road. Can you hear us?" So then we skip along.
Oh, it's really interesting, isn't it? You know how different cultures react to things, and how things.
We were just, they always used to remark on our white socks and our white teeth. We'd smile and say, "Thank you, thank you." And then we just go, "Oh God, it's just because we've got dark skin. Anything we put on looks white." So yeah, it was that was a source of amusement for us, and it kept us on the right side.
Yeah.
Knock a door run. I'm not sure.
Yes, I remember knock a door run. Knock a
door run. Very difficult when you're the only black family in the. So if I got caught, don't know how many times they come and knocking on my mum's door, going,
"Oh no! Oh, what a shame! What a shame!"
We just had to be fast runners.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the sport that you got into in your teenage years.
So this sport was freedom, and I was a good athlete. So I did the 100 meters, the 200 meters, the relay, and the long jump and the high jump. And do you know when you're just running and you've got the wind through your hair?
Yeah.
And you're beating everybody. I'm at the front, and I used to do little Usain Bolties look back to see who was behind me, because it was, and then I got into netball, and it was just a way of getting out and doing something, keeping fit, being part of a team, being important to the team. And it was only when I was older that I realised I was part of the team. I was really good. My sister was the better netball player because she went on to play for England.
Wow.
Under 21, she went to play. I always had an attitude about me. So whilst I was a good athlete, I always knew that they needed me to be an athlete. And then I think it was, I must have been doing my mock exams or something. And I'd said I was going to focus on my exams. Oh, my PE teacher nearly busted a vein. It was very much, well, I need you at this practice. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I said, I've got to revise. I'm going to this revision class to do some. And it was only then that I realised I've done a lot for the school and the sports.
You must have been about 15, 16.
Yeah, they didn't recognise I had a brain. It was just all very much, we'll do this sport. And I did it because I loved it.
Yeah.
I needed to make sure that I had something behind me, some exams.
And so, some education systems, they think that's all we're good at as well. They think that Black people are only good at sport and drama. And there was a lot of, there's often times when they don't let us excel academically, isn't it? Yeah.
That was my school. So we were put into classes, and I was in there was S1, S2, S3, S4. And I got put in and there was an S5 and S6. So I'm just slap bang in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm not so bright.
Yeah.
But they didn't realise. I really pushed hard to get into S3 or S2, but not Cat in Hell's chance. I was in S4, and that's exactly where I was staying. They had no idea. I remember I had a really good friend. I won't name her because she's still my friend. And I remember she was in S4 as well. And she wasn't stupid, but I was brighter than her, always had been. And I remember one day she copied my homework, and we got taken to the headmaster, and I was the one that was told I was copying off my friend.
Oh no!
And she said nothing. They accused me, and she didn't own up. And do you know what? It was at that point I just said, do you know what, Elaine? This is your life. This is your life. So I took what was coming to me. I took the telling off. And do you know, I never mentioned it to my friend again. We walked out. I got kept in and did it. And I never mentioned it to her again. And I never said, why didn't you? Anything. I think at that time I was more interested in keeping a friendship.
Right. Yeah.
So any time after that, she knew, because she never tried to copy off me again. And if she did do that with me stuff
like that, yeah. So she wouldn't be able to do it to you.
Yeah, but we never spoke of it.
Spoke about it. Isn't that interesting?
Never spoke.
What about your interests at that time in terms of career prospects?
At 15, this is strange. The police did come to school.
Right.
They were after black people joining.
Really?
The police, yeah.
So what year would that have been like?
It must have been, probably was, I say 14, 15. They came to the lessons and they spotted the black people. Then they went back to the head teacher and had a look at our attainment records.
Would that have been like in the 80s?
But before the 80s. So
wow.
75, probably 65, 75, 78, something like that. About 78, something like that. I might get 76.
Yeah,
70.
yeah. Wow.
And
did it appeal to you then?
It was a job. It was a job. And whilst I sort of understood the things that were happening to black people, they didn't happen to us like that in Blackburn. We got people, we got buses not stopping for us. Yes, we got people, some abuse, but I never had any problems with the police. My family never had any problems with the police, so that was a different thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but all the other microaggressions existed, and again, as a family, we never spoke of them.
And did any of yous connect with the Caribbean community in South Manchester at that point?
So my dad at that point, my dad had been married before, and it was funny because we used to go on holiday to his ex-wife's house in Manchester. So she'd take 6 little black children.
You're joking! Where was she from?
I think she was from I think she was from Moss Side. Auntie Madge, beautiful lady, beautiful lady.
Did she have children?
Yeah, she had my sister, and she had other children as well.
And she just used to take your dad's 6 kids on.
Yeah, and we loved it. We loved it because that was our holiday, coming to Manchester somewhere.
What part in Manchester was she?
I think it was Moss Side.
All right, okay. So you had there was some connections. Very loose, and
I don't know. I just remember being with Auntie Madge in a house and being happy.
And what type of stuff did you do there?
I can't even remember. We used to play out. We used to go and play on playgrounds and play at the front of the house. Just nothing. Just what you would do normally. That we didn't do in Blackburn.
Wow.
So, yeah, but I'll always be grateful for Auntie Madge taking these children and just giving them a few days a week. And she treated us like.
Is she still alive?
No, she passed away some time ago.
Oh.
But she was a beautiful woman.
Yeah, she sounds it as well.
She's a beautiful woman.
She sounds it, bless her. So what about, have you got a track for your teenage years?
Do you know what? In my teenage years, I sort of went, what can I say? I was fitting in my teenage years. And I think I learned in my teenage years, not just to fit in, but to be comfortable in the skin that I was wearing. So I was fitting in, but it wasn't difficult because I was okay. This was me. I was different to everybody else. I didn't see many black people for role models, and it was okay just to fit in. So I remember Gary Newman, and he had a track called Cars. And I remember, I think everyone used to do this when the Top 40 was on.
Yeah, Top of the Pops. I remember Top of the Pops.
You have your cassettes and you take.
I was there. Yeah.
My sister used to, she realised we had those fluorescent lights, and she realised she could interfere with the tape recording by switching the fluorescent lights on and off.
Wow.
And I managed to get a C60 cassette, and all it had, 30 minutes on the first side, 30 minutes on the second side, was Gary Newman and Cars. That was it.
So was it like on a repeat?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to do things like that, and I used to dance in my bedroom as well. Yeah.
And it was just, and I just remember jumping up and down going, here in my car. And it was very much rock on the horse, rolling in cars.
I remember the song, yeah.
And I loved it because he was telling you that there was a space, and his was his car.
Yeah.
Space for you to live and be yourself.
Yeah.
And that's, I just loved the song.
Oh, it is a catchy song, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what did you do when you left school?
Oh, left school. What did I do? Oh, I remember. I left school and I actually did quite well in my O-levels. But I left school and I wanted to go to college. And I made the decision that I wasn't going to go to the Blackburn Technical College because that's where all my friends were going, and that's where everybody from school was going to the Blackburn Technical College. So I decided I was going to go to, it was called Chewson College in Preston. So I was going to go to Chewson College. I was going to educate myself, but I needed to take myself away from the people that I'd spent my formative school years with, because they weren't good for me.
Yeah.
I didn't.
What did you study?
I studied the preliminary certificate in social care.
Oh,
it was
so you was on the caring path.
Yes, I was on the police had come and gone because my dad had said, no way on God's green earth are you joining the police. So the police had come and gone. And
right, that wasn't going to happen.
No, they did, however, keep coming back. They were ringing, they were writing, and they would appear on my doorstep to have me join the police.
You're joking?
No, I actually remember saying to one guy, listen, I've got an application at the college. If I don't get in there, I'll come back to you. And I got in at the college. So
okay, you got in, yeah.
So I studied that in order to go into social work. Throughout my years at school, I had become somewhat of a social work counsellor, union representative, I don't know, boyfriend, girlfriend, guidance counsellor, whatever.
Been there, done it, wore the T-shirt.
So I thought, I'm not bad at this, I'll go and do it. So, but before I could go to Chewson College, I had to have with my exams, they wouldn't enter me in for an English O-level, which I needed to go to college. So on the rare occasion, I took my mum to school and I said, look, Mum, I can pass this exam easy. And she said, are you sure, Elaine? And I said, yeah, I'm positive I can pass this O-level exam. They just want to put me in for a CSE and I can do the O-level. So I went and had the conversation and they said, right, we'll put Elaine in, but if she fails, you have to pay for that exam because we feel you've wasted our money. So
wow.
Mum looked at me in this office and she just looked, and it was that look saying, you make me waste this money. She said nothing to me, but I actually knew what she was saying. And I just said, Mum, I can pass the exam. Pass the exam. That exam, the English exam, enabled me to go to college. I then had to fight for the Lancashire County Council because they wouldn't pay my bus fare to Preston, and I couldn't afford the bus fare. So I wrote letters, and eventually they gave me a free bus pass from Blackburn to Preston. I went to Preston.
How many years for?
I went to Preston. I think I was there. Was it there? I think I was there 2 years. 2 years. Wow, I've gone to Preston. I've never seen so many black people in all my life in one place. Honestly.
Well, we used to have, back in the day, we used to have a Preston all day, yeah.
Yeah, at Clouds.
Yeah, and we all used to come up from Manchester to go to Preston, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But coming from Blackburn, no. So
you must have had a shock of your life.
It was a shock, but do you know, I wanted to feel comfortable because I was with these people that were like me.
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything about the culture. I didn't know anything about anything really. And my dad was always saying, what did he say? He said, don't come home with a
Jamaican man.
Couldn't come home with a West Indian.
My gran used to say that. And we were from the Caribbean.
Don't come home with Asian, don't come home with West Indian. Didn't matter where it was from, just no West Indian.
Yeah.
So my mum used to say, don't come home with an Asian, don't come home with an African. We were like, eh?
They were having their own little...
That was life at Preston.
Yeah, wow. And who did you first date?
I think it was a black guy called. No, it was. He was a bad boy to be.
Oh no! I think we all liked a bit of bad boys at some point in our life.
Met him all day, and it was lovely. But I remember, you remember in those days you used to write letters?
Yeah.
Because everyone had a house phone, which was smack bang in the middle of your sitting room.
Yeah.
Have a conversation on the house phone.
No.
So you used to write letters. And I used to write letters to him, and I won't say who he is.
Oh, in case I know him. Or in case he's listening.
And he had some, he was from Leeds.
Oh, right.
He was always in trouble with one thing or another. And, but he was fun. He was fun.
A bit of excitement.
And then I think things for me, because I'd write letters and they were funny letters.
Yeah.
Because I'd write a letter and I'd go, right, I'm bored now, I'm going to bed. So then I pick the letter up again and just go, oh yeah, I had a right good sleep. And guess what I'm doing today? So this letter.
Yeah, it was just long for days and days, yeah. Brilliant idea.
Just 6 days, and it was just like, and I'd be going, watching crap telly. Just stuff, anything random.
Oh.
So he always used to say, oh, I really love your letters, Elaine, blah, blah, blah. And then I just think it all went, for me anyway, because he started asking me to write letters to people that were in prison. And I didn't know these prisoners, but they were his friends. And he said, oh, they just need cheering up. And I just thought you'd write.
Oh my goodness, like you've got nothing better to do.
I know. So
a prison pen pal.
I know. So, and I was like, so why are they in prison? Oh, well, they had an altercation in one of the shopping malls. What do you mean they had an altercation? And when he told me, I just went, I ain't writing no letter to those people.
Yeah.
I'm not, I just said, that's not for me.
No.
So, yeah, it was...
So that didn't last long.
Do you know what? It lasted long, but the letters got shorter. And
so as time went on.
And do you know, if I was ever to see him, I bet we'd just pick up where he left off and start laughing, because there's no animal.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever see him after that?
I did, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that. What age was you then?
It's about, I was really good because I didn't go out until I was 18. I didn't start going to clubs and things until I was 18. And I remember I never even used to go to the cinema to watch films that were out. Grease was out when I was maybe 14, because it was a 15 or something, a PG. Oh, I wasn't allowed to go and see it, so all my mates were going to see Grease. and I was allowed to go and see. They were like, Jesus Christ, superstar, that's what we could call it.
Yeah. Very different, very, very
Yeah.
different.
It was, do you know what? And I don't mind at all. It wasn't, it was my life. And
and you just soaked it in for what it was.
Yeah. Different. I didn't know any different. So yeah, it was okay.
So you like, you've started going clubbing. What's your interest? You're training to be a social worker, am I right?
Yeah.
And then what about your hobbies? What and you seem, I know you said you like to write and read, but and you had your music, but what other interests did you have in your late teens?
You know, Jo, I didn't have time for interests, because again, it was all about money. So ask me how many jobs I had, and I'll tell you how many jobs I had.
Right, okay. So what was your first job then?
My first job was working in a cafe, a vegetarian vegan cafe.
Never back then.
Yeah. My sister's friend had this cafe, and they employed me for this cafe, but it was a bit of a swizz, to be honest, because if there were people in, I'd get paid. If there were no people in, I'd not get paid.
Oh, right.
You can go home early, but not pay me. So
yeah. I assume that didn't last long.
No, one day.
No.
Oh, it's not working out. And I just thought, no, it's not. I'm not getting paid regularly. That's why.
No.
So the next job I had was at a bakery.
Oh.
And it was a shop. We sold bread, cakes, and a little cafe.
Okay.
BSK in Manchester. I don't know what it stood for, but it was big up north. And I loved it. So I was serving food behind the counter, and then I was waitressing in the same shop.
Okay.
So I got that job. And
how long was you there for?
There for ages, to be honest.
A few years.
Yeah, I was there for ages because I really loved it, and I loved working with people. I actually loved serving food.
Yeah.
And I like talking to people, and I like when regulars came in and you knew exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
So I worked behind the counter, and then a cleaning job in the same place came up. So I took the cleaning job in the same place, and a cleaning job came in the one of the sister shops in the market. So I took the cleaning job there. So I had working behind the counter. I was the cleaner in one shop. I was the cleaner in another shop, and then I made sandwiches. So I would go to work. At about 5:30, make sandwiches, and then I would go to college, come back on the bus, drop me in town, and then I would clean. And then Saturday, Sunday, and during the holidays, I would do all three. So I'd be there 5:30 till about 8, doing all those jobs. And I remember one day, somebody came in, because I was the cleaner. Somebody came in. I was working in the cafe and whatever. And someone came in and said, "Oh, somebody's made a mess in the toilet, Elaine. You'll have to go and clean it." And I remember just going, "I don't think I'm cleaner until 5:30. Somebody else do it." And that for me was, she was like,
that was your authority, you being in your authority.
And she said, there's loads of other people.
Yeah. She's telling me.
And I went, "No," I said, "I'm the cleaner at 5:30. He went, "I don't get paid for cleaning toilets at this time." She said, "Well, we've all do it." And I said, "Well, when they do it, I'll do it." And I said, "Don't come straight to me."
Oh, I love it. You wouldn't let anyone kind of take advantage, really, would you?
I think for me, I don't even know if it was about. I was opening my eyes as to. They also said something. They'd also say, "Oh, Elaine, you didn't make enough of these sandwiches. Can you go behind the thingy?" And I went, "No, I made what I was asked to make." I said, "Somebody else can go make the sandwiches." So they were just the blurred lines. But the rates of pay were different as well. So I wasn't going to go cleaning a toilet on a lower rate of pay.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh no, it was just yeah. And I think I saw then that I was being
Assertive.
treated differently. So yeah, I was assertive. Yeah.
I love the way you were able to stand up for yourself, and you could clearly see wrong from right and right from wrong.
That was my mother.
Yeah.
Always strong black female, and to a certain extent, your mum. When I said we all went through things in the house but never spoke about it to each other, the one thing that we all did was we handled our own business. And so if we handled it, it meant we didn't have to bring it back to my mum for another job to handle.
Right, okay.
So she was already handling her business at work, and there was stuff going on at work. So
what was the job your mum and dad had?
My dad, he worked at Mullard Simonstone, and he worked in a factory making televisions and things. Yeah, but we were the first ones with a colour telly on the street.
I love it. Wow, I bet your friends were envy of you.
Yeah, but they weren't allowed in our house to watch.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was great when we were no longer the remote control, because in houses it was like your mum and dad would watch the telly and it'd be like, Elaine, go and turn over. Yeah. So we were the remote controls. But my mum, she was a nurse. She was an auxiliary nurse, and she worked. She had lots of jobs before she came. She worked. She wasn't a windrush. She was sort of part of the windrush, but she worked in factories.
Yeah.
Cleaning, making food.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I remember bringing food back from where she used to work, and that was a great day because we had interesting food, and she wasn't the best cook.
But was she not?
No, but none of us did. No. So I was just talking about a macaroni cheese to my husband. Yeah, I think if you talk to all our family about a macaroni cheese, we'd remember the macaroni cheese. So
did you learn to cook later on then?
So my way of doing, I knew I could cook, but I wasn't. I was one of 6.
Yeah.
So there's 5 other people in the house that can cook. Why are you asking me to cook? Why do I need to cook? So I used to pretend that I couldn't cook. And because my mum had us all doing things.
Yeah.
You know what? You plan the meal, you get the meal, and then people just yam it up after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was, so I used to pretend I couldn't cook. So I used to cook badly.
So when you got away with it then, didn't you?
Yeah. When it came time to cook, I cooked badly, or I pretended. I was like, oh, what? Oh. And I remember making a cheese and onion pie at school, and it was our dinner. I was taking it home. We were all having dinner, and I put a little bit too much salt in this. It was all right for me, in this cheese and onion pie. And I remember that was the day that they all said, Elaine's never going to be allowed to cook anything in this house again.
Ever again.
And I was
you got out of that one. I
was like, hallelujah. And that was, I didn't cook anything. Nobody, they all remembered the cheese and onion pie.
And just thought, no, don't let her go near food ever again.
Yeah, I did a bit of baking because I love to do raspberry buns, and I did a bit of baking. I could cook those.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was just, why would I, if there were so many people in the house that really liked doing it? It just wasn't the right thing. Well, I didn't think it was the thing to do.
And you got away with it, so why not?
I did, yeah.
What about your late 20s? Where was you in your late 20s?
So my late 20s,
Are you still at home?
No, I've got where am I? I'm living in a council flat. I'm living in a council house in Blackburn, and I've got my daughter, Ashley.
Right, well, you've jumped a gun there, so let's go back a bit. Come on.
Yeah, so what did I do? So I finished college and I went to work in a children's home in Manchester.
Okay.
I worked in this children's home in Manchester, and I'm 19.
Yes.
I work in a children's home in Manchester. And I'm the only black person there. And I slowly realised that I've been employed because they had to have a quota of black people. So
wow.
Elaine comes along, all sweetness and light, wouldn't say boo to a goose, you know, just very amenable. And I get a job in this children's home. And that was like a baptism of fire. It was just so racist.
Oh, wow.
They used to tell me about how they had black children in the home previous to me, and how they used to give them a bath, and the children used to go for a bath, and then they'd come down and the skin was dry, so they used to tell the children to go back for a bath because they didn't believe they'd had a bath because the legs were white. And I was like, you did what? So, well, we didn't know. And I just went, you shouldn't be allowed to have these children. So it was all very much all the stuff that they told me.
Yeah.
And then they just went, oh, well, we wouldn't have black kids in here anyway. And I just went, beg your pardon?
What area?
So, see if I say it was in.
Don't say.
It was in Salford.
Right. Oh, Salford's renowned for that.
Salford,
you know,
yeah.
Salford's renowned for
Salford.
racism.
But it was a well-to-do area. It wasn't an authority children's home. It was a charitable children's home. Everything about that place made me. I questioned it. I found myself alone. I found myself fighting discrimination. The whole organisation fighting discrimination.
How long was you there for?
I was there for 19. About 5 years.
Wow.
Years. But the joke of it was the person who ran the home had a daughter, and her daughter was going out with a black man, and the guy hated this black man, and he used to, as the price, he used to have a thing, and he used to tap his back pocket, and he'd just go, I'm loaded, I'm wadded, I've got loads of money. And I'd say to him after a couple of years, and I went, you do realise, I said, all this money you're saving, and all you can tap your back pocket as much as you want. I said, you do realise it all goes to a black man when you're dead.
Oh, wow. What was his response to that?
Well, we weren't great friends.
Yeah, okay. I can imagine, yeah.
It was at that time that his daughter got pregnant, and to the guy.
Yeah.
I loved it, because I'm just going, oh, you'll have a lovely cafe au lait child. Said she or he's going to be beautiful. And I just said, and you'll have the whole family. And I just went, oh, it's magical. And it was just very magical.
He must have hated you deep down.
And it was at that time I got pregnant.
Okay.
So I got pregnant. And so now.
So was you in a relationship then?
I was. It wasn't a great one.
Okay. And had you left home yet, or had you got your place then?
I was living at the children's home.
Oh, was it a residential? Yeah.
I was living at the children's home, and I was pregnant. And first thing he wanted to do to me was sack me. And I said, I'm sorry. I said, why are you sacking me? Well, you're a bad role model because you're a single parent and the kids can see that you're not married and da, da, da. And I went, like your daughter then?
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, that's different. I went, I don't think
it's the same.
I said, if you want to sack me, I said, you'll have to find a good reason for sacking me. I said, and if you don't want me to be seen around the children, I went, tell your daughter not to come. Yeah. So I said
that he's matched with you.
It was very much. It was really. It was hard for me because it was that every day.
Yeah.
So I used to go into the office and get the employee handbook out and leave it on maternity. So I knew that he would know that I'd been in, and he would know what page I was looking at.
Yeah,
and he knew a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
But there were all sorts. It wasn't just that one. There were some lovely people there, but nobody would stand in. It was very immoral, and I didn't like him for some of the things that we all knew were going on.
Yeah.
Which is a different story. But he wasn't. He had low morals, so I didn't like him for that.
What about so when you got your own place? How did that come around? That was when you got pregnant.
No, I went to stay with my daughter's father, and realised that was not. I found myself in a good choice. No, I found myself in a bad relationship, bad choice, and it was. He was. I left.
Yeah.
And the thing about it was, he just kept saying, "Nobody leaves me," and I was like, "Well, I think they just have."
You're not nobody, you're somebody. So
and it was much. There's a lot of stuff I went through.
And then you went. So that's how you got to get your own place.
Yeah, there was that time in my life, Joe, if I can say. I didn't have a mental breakdown, but I left the children's home, and all that time caused a lot of stress, and I left due to ill health, and all the stress had caused me to. That's when my Crohn's disease manifested.
Okay.
And it was just the stress I was under day and night, on my own, and then. The bad relationship that I was in, so there was work that was bad, and then the bad relationship. So my health really suffered.
I can imagine,
massively suffered. And then I just left and went back to Blackburn, and then got a little council house, which was, and then that was great. It's in between. So I left work and I bought a house in Radcliffe, and you find it strange. I bought a house in Radcliffe, and I had to sell the because we could live in it. And there's a period of time, maybe
you have to say that again. You had to sell the house. Yeah,
because I couldn't live in it. I had no childcare. I needed to work to live in it, and I couldn't work and keep the house because I had no childcare. I had to sell the house. But that period of time, Joe, has been totally erased from my memory, and I cannot remember where that house was.
How long was it? Not a long time.
I think I had it maybe about 14 months or something, just over a year.
And how old was your baby?
She was maybe one, maybe a baby to one, I would say. But there's a period of time that my memory will not allow, because it was horrid. It was really.
I understand now.
It was horrid, and there were some things. I kitted the house out, and I managed to furnish it and put things in it. And I remember going to my brother's house one day, and I said to him, "Wow, that's really nice. I really like that." And he looked at me strange, and he said, "Do you not remember?" And I just went, "No, I just know that it's." I said, "Where did you get it?" And he went, "It's yours." So there was stuff
that you just completely blocked out. Yeah.
rehabilitate myself in order to keep moving forward. And it's never come back to me.
Wow.
I don't know. One day I'll find a piece of paper, I'll
Something or something, yeah.
That'll tell me, but I don't know where it is. Yeah, I don't know where it is.
So tell me about your 30s then.
30s, what was I doing in my 30s? I think at 30, I think I had, oh, I know, I'd bought my house. So
you're still single?
Yeah. Do you know, I'd worked in childcare, I'd worked in social care, and I had promised myself that single I would stay because I'd seen too many people, too many men groom single parents and end up having hell on the hands. So my life was just focus on your daughter and focus on you. At that point in time, there was just too much I needed to do and I needed to achieve, and I needed to be in a certain place. I had a plan, and the plan didn't involve
a man.
Yeah,
because you sounded like you had a few challenges in your 20s.
Life's just been a challenge. In order to get my, it was a challenge at university. There was, I remember going to university and them saying anti-discriminatory practice, and all we got was this white woman telling us to read a book, and I refused to go to the lessons because I just said, well, I know more about discrimination than she does. Why should I travel to listen to her read that? So there were all sorts of things, and then I got I was held back a year before I graduated because they didn't give me the right placement, so I was held back a year. I just kept going. I was still poor. I worked at River Island, loved it. My plan was to, because I had no money and I couldn't, I had Ashley, and I couldn't go out that much. I got a job at River Island, and that was my going out, really.
Oh.
And it was also, I used to get clothes at a discount.
Yeah.
So everything, all my uniforms and all my discounted clothes I would use for interviews.
Yeah.
Only way I could do it. So
what were your interests in your 30s? Were you working at River Island? So there must have been some fashion interest. How old's Ashley?
Now?
No, in your 30s when you're working at River Island.
Ashley's about five or six.
And what area are you living in?
Blackburn still.
Right, okay.
Down the road from my mum in Blackburn. My interests were, and it was just get by, get enough money to.
Yeah.
And I was.
Did you never have no hobbies?
I couldn't afford a hobby.
Well, you used to read and write. You liked to read and write, didn't you?
Yeah, and I did the reading and writing to get through my degree, and then everything else has been about earning money.
Yeah.
One, I had to show Ashley that life was always going to be challenging, and you just had to find something to do. I could plait hair. I was a hair platter extraordinaire.
Fantastic.
That's how I earned my, every head was a pair of curtains.
Yeah.
So I would plait hair. That was the only thing. Anything I did, I had to earn money.
Earn money.
And I worked in pubs, I worked in bars.
Oh.
So it was, sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's, I couldn't afford to go out, so I'd work in a pub or a bar.
So it was more about your life in your 30s and up until then was more about making money to survive, opposed to there wasn't much luxuries.
No. There were luxuries. So I had boyfriends, but never actually would. So the luxuries were going out and they'd buy things, but I was never compromised. I remember somebody wanting to buy a house for me to live in. And, because I was living in a council house, and they said, oh, I'll buy you a house in a nice place to live in. And I was like, but what if we don't get on?
Yeah, practical.
Your house. And it was just like,
yeah.
little council house, and this man couldn't see. He kept saying, "So you're giving up the chance of living in a top place?" And I went, "I am, yeah."
Yeah.
This
So
little
you were
council
very
house.
grounded, and you led a very practical life, and you like to look at the rationale of things. Yeah.
I didn't want to be I didn't want to be a kept woman.
Yeah.
I didn't want anyone to ever put me in a position where I had no choices or no options.
Yeah.
So in order for that to happen, I could have made life easy for myself, but it wasn't. I would have put myself in positions that were difficult to get away from.
Yeah.
And I also wanted, and it was really important that Ashley sees that we can do it on our own. It's not easy, but we can get where we need to be.
Yeah. Using
your own strengths, your knowledge, your skills. So that was really important for me. So
give me a track from your 30s.
Oh, well, it'll have to be George Michael. I'm not looking at nothing. George Michael, anything from George Michael, to be honest.
I like that track. I like the track with Aretha Franklin.
Well, I love him, but I am going to say Cowboys and Angels.
Oh, did you ever go and see him in concert?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And I saw him. I think I saw him 3 times. And I could see his nose hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cowboys and Angels was just. I probably was a 30, but George Michael was very, very
prevalent in your life.
Yeah, and I actually knew he was gay before other people knew he was gay. And the reason I knew was because when I listened to his songs, he was just so sad in some of them, and there's just something not right. And then I remember saying to somebody, "Of course he's gay. He spends far too much time with Elton John." So I knew, and I just thought, just leave him alone, let him be who he wants to be. So Cowboys and Angels, because
I think that's what happens as well. You know, when you're fascinated by someone or you admire someone, you kind of get so entrenched by them that you kind of do have feelings and tend to know what's going on in their life, or you have gut feelings about them, don't you?
It was sad.
Yeah.
And DC Lee, there was some kind of relationship with DC Lee, and she never speaks about it, which is why I quite like DC Lee, because she's confidence. But you know, DC Lee, if you're going to marry somebody in the 80s, and stand up sister, black girl, George Michael, and I just thought, well, if you ain't marrying DC Lee, he's gay. But that never worried me. It was just.
You just admired him for what he was and what he as an artist.
Yeah.
What about friends in your life in your 30s?
I had a group of friends.
Did you have any that came from school or college, or?
Do you know one friend that's been in my life constantly? Is Martha. Martha John.
Do you know what's really strange? Whenever I'm with you, I think of Martha. And whenever I'm with Martha, I think of you.
I met Martha when we were at college.
And Martha, I often think they just sound alike, but are they friends? Are they relatives? So that's really interesting.
Martha and I met at college.
Oh, beautiful.
And we have, our paths have crossed on loads of different. But Martha is very dear to me. And Martha is, I say a sister.
Oh.
We have birthdays on the same day. But but I'm a year older. She'll tell you I'm the old fuddy-duddy. There were times when Martha wasn't in my life. There were times she wasn't in my life. And we just pick up where we leave off.
Yeah, I've got a few friends like that.
I don't have any. I have the friend that copied off me.
Yeah.
She's still. I'd love to tell you who she is, but she is lovely.
You don't need to.
and she made my my wedding rings.
Oh,
Husband's wedding rings. So I
is
found
she
her.
a jeweler?
Yes, she is.
Brilliant.
But you know, the Caribbean way, when you dream of death, somebody is pregnant.
Yeah, we know that. Or you dream of fish, that's another one.
Oh, it was just death for me. So before I knew I was pregnant with Ashley, I kept dreaming that my best friend at school, this girl was dead. My dreams were just she was being decapitated. She was this. Every night she was dead.
Yeah.
And then I had to go back to Blackburn, and I went to the shop that she worked in, and I just wanted to know that you were all right. And she said, yeah, I'm fine. And we hooked up again.
Yeah.
Maybe about, I don't know, 4 weeks after that, I'm pregnant. I found it was me that was pregnant. So these dreams, I was looking elsewhere, but it was me that was pregnant. So
yeah, there is the death, and then there's the other one, and they make jokes about it as well. You know, when we've got like black comedians. You know, like the elders sit round a table and it's, boy, me did dream fish, someone pregnant, or me did dream someone dead, someone pregnant, you know.
It was at that time, as soon as I realised I was pregnant, the dream stopped.
Yeah.
Not another one.
No.
That was yeah, that was funny. So yeah, that she's still in my life, and I still have people that I don't fall out with people. People fall out with me, but I don't tend to fall out with people. And people fall out with me because I'm not typical of what they want.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at communicating.
But you know yourself, don't you? And when you've done wrong, you're able to say.
I try, and I do try, and if I've done wrong, I do, you know, to recognise that in myself.
But I think that's quite big in a person, Elaine, because I know a lot of people that can't do that. So I admire that in you. If
I see it,
yes.
If I don't see it, that's the problem.
Yeah.
But I do reflect on things. So I try to be a good person. No, I don't always get it right, but I really try.
Yeah.
And I just think if you know, people who are my friend will know I'm a good person. I sometimes get it spectacularly wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm not that person that's is out to get you. Never.
No. So I know now you're in a second marriage. You're in a marriage now. Yeah. So when did that happen?
Oh, that happened. We got married in 2013, Halloween 2013.
Wow.
Is our wedding last night.
So give me a little bit, because you've got Ashley.
Yeah.
Have you got any other children?
No. Dave's got.
Right, okay. So you've got Ashley. And so how old was Ashley when you met Dave?
So it's a long story. Ashley was very young.
Oh, really?
Ashley was very young when we first met Dave.
Okay.
He was 17 when we got together.
She was 17 when you got together.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd known Dave for many years, but he wasn't on the radar as being a partner. He was just
someone that you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So before you met Dave, because it seems a bit of a big gap, because I know your 20s was difficult. We were hitting into your 30s. Because how old would you have been when you met Dave?
Just before I was 40.
Just before you was 40. So tell me a little bit in your 30s what was going on for you, where you were living, what your interests were, where you was working, and then we'll get on to meeting Dave.
Okay, so I lived in Blackburn, and in my 20s and 30s, I think late 20s, 88, yeah, late 20s, 30s, I used to go out. I had a group of friends and we went clubbing, Accrington, and it was that time, it was just the beginning of the 90s, wasn't it? Middle of the 90s. Yeah, middle of the 90s, and we were just going out, having fun. Life was a breeze, life was great. And it sounds strange to say it, but Black people had, and Black women and girls had began to be popular.
Okay.
So I was very popular.
Well done.
I was as arrogant as you could get. It was just, I just thought, do you know what? If I don't take my chances and do,
yeah.
So yeah, I bought myself a black Golf. I put my initials on my number on my car.
Where did you work?
Well, at this time I'd sold a property, I'd sold a house. So I had a little bit of money, and I was going.
Was this your second house or the first house?
First one.
Yeah.
I was very frugal with it, to be honest, because it took me, I could afford to do part-time jobs and whatever. So the money was, and I was working part-time to fund my life, going out and whatever.
And where was you working? Still at River Island? Yeah,
and then I just had a it was just great going out, and that was when everyone was taking drugs. And I would be going, what? I've not seen that man have a drink yet. Yeah, he's very merry.
Yeah.
It came in, it just made me, the people were on drugs and I wasn't. So,
yeah.
And then I decided I wanted a job. So I'd finished university, I wanted a job. So I came to Manchester, and that I got a job working in a managing mental health setting.
Wow, okay.
That was so me going out. It was funny because I went to Manchester and I had a wardrobe of clothes.
From when you worked at River Island as well?
Yeah. And when I was going out. So these clothes, if all of my dresses were like tops, I just wore mini skirts, pure mini skirts. And it was like a uniform. And I had big hair, shoulder pads were in. But coming from Blackburn, people hadn't seen anyone like that before. So that was great. And then I had to be sensible, and I had to put all my going out clothes to the side, and have my suits and work clothes, because I'm now managing. And I had to sort of stop going out because I used to see people that I'm trying to manage in clubs.
I've heard professionals say that before, actually.
And so it was like, okay, you either want to carry on going out or you want to make a. So it was a good job, earn some money, and I had a plan. It's like a 10-year plan, and nothing was going to stop me from
doing that.
No man was getting in the way.
Yeah.
Cause trouble and take you off. So this was my plan, and I needed a house. I wanted to buy a house when I was 30, in my 30s. I should go into a good school, all sorts of things. And I did it. It was really hard. I battled the elements. I battled the discrimination. I'm always known for being. They say Elaine, she doesn't suffer fools gladly, but really, nobody saw me cry. Nobody saw.
Yeah, because you hid that.
Yeah, nobody saw that, and I still, even now, that's still a thing, because I know I will tell anyone crying isn't a sign of weakness, but some of the people I've come up against, it is, so I can't let them see that. But some of the hurt, some of the things, some of the double dealings.
Yeah.
You know, I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
And the saddest thing is, I had to teach Ashley about that as well. I had to teach my daughter about it. She wasn't free to grow up without any of that baggage because it still exists. And I remember her saying to me once, oh, Mum, it's different in your day.
Mine say that to me every day.
Different in your day.
Yeah.
Things have changed.
Yeah.
So now she's like 32. She's going, why, Ash? It was different in my day, wasn't it? So that's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Not able to. I see people have children and the children just grow up as children. Nobody has to warn them about things.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. I'm warning my boys all the time. So I understand that. Yeah.
So, but yeah, we bought the house, and I bought the house. And,
where was the house?
It's in Denton.
Oh, yeah, you're not very far. Are you there now?
No.
Oh, right.
Denton.
I know Denton. Well, my uncle's got a house there in Denton.
We used to have UKIP and the BNP.
Oh, no.
Honestly, I'd bought a house on this little cul-de-sac, and the people on the cul-de-sac. One woman had the audacity to ask me where I get my money from to buy my house.
Oh,
and to do the
really?
jobs. And then I had a next door neighbour who I found it funny. She would, because Ashley would walk down the street, and she didn't speak to me, the next door neighbour, but when Ashley was coming home from school, she'd go, oh, hello, Ashley, do you want to come in for some pop and biscuits?
Oh my goodness, you're joking.
No. So I'd already prepped Ashley, and I'd said to Ashley, tell her nothing. I said, don't tell her where I work, don't tell her what I do.
Yeah.
Just make it up. And I said, to be fair, I worked in a mental health setting. So I did work with a lot of men with mental health. So I said, just go and tell her that. I said, tell her I visit men in their own houses. I said, see what she thinks of that. So Ashley used to, when I got home, she'd go, Mum, she had me in, she'd give me some pop. It was cheap pop, she'd say. And I'd go, oh, Ashley. She said, she'd have me in and give me some pop. Yeah, I just told her that you work in men's houses, Mum. I said, what did she say? It was just, that was our way of giggling. So he didn't know what I did.
Yeah, what you really did. But it just sounds like you've journeyed in a way that's just been, you face with especially racism, challenge, and you're just protecting, and you're conscious of it, and you've been conscious of it, just fighting it.
Yeah, I used to say it was easier when I was a child. It was easy to know who your enemy was, or who was out, because they just tell you. So I just avoid them. I just don't go near them. It's not that easy now. It wasn't that easy growing up with a group of friends who purported to be my friend, but really I just know that they weren't. And it's work, but I have to overcome that. I'm in a situation now where I don't say this lightly. The grade that I'm at is the most senior that any Black person has been in GMP. I, for one, think that's shocking. But on the other hand, I just think, okay, so I'm here now, and I need to get people to come with me on this journey, and organisation, and then we can change things. It's difficult. I find it difficult because I've got quite a challenging job. And I'm the current chair of BAPA, and I do that in my own time.
Black and Asian Police Association.
And people have asked me why I bother doing BAPA, and I just have to tell them that I feel I'm very lucky that I'm in a position whereby my voice can be heard. So I have to use that. I have to make that it is heard. I'm not taking this for granted. But I am it is very difficult, because a lot of people see me and think, well, what is she doing? In order for me to do stuff, I have to stay where I am. So there's challenges that I've faced within my current role. They have been horrendous.
However, I know.
I come out fighting. I'm not even fighting. I come out and I just think I need to stay where I am because the job's not done.
Yeah.
But I need help. Martha's tipped up. Martha now works for GMP. So Martha is a real source of help for me.
So what made you go into the police force?
When I turned 50.
Right, let me just stop you there then, because that's a big jump. So give me a track from your 40s.
Oh, let me have a look. I'm gonna. Do you know what? I just put some down. A track from my 40s. What was I listening to? In my 40s, to be fair, I was listening to a lot of music that Ashley. That Ashley. I think. Oh yeah. Oh, do you know what? In my 40s, I think I went back to my mum. I remember sending my mum a card, and I'd got some money from somewhere. I don't even know where I'd got this money, but I got this money, and I just thought, do you know what? My mum's brought up 6 children, and I'm bringing one up, and I'm struggling. And I remember sending her a card saying, I'm really grateful for everything that you've done and continue to do, because without my mum, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have my house. I'd have nothing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have that determination. So I'm going to go back to a song that really, my mum now has dementia, and she loved the Carpenters.
Oh.
So I'm going to say, for my mum, it's a Carpenters tune. And it's Top of the World.
Oh.
So even now with the dementia,
yeah,
she will recite the words to Top of the World.
Oh, bless her.
So I have to say, and it's with a good heart. My mum, I realised how much my mum had done for me, not just me, my whole family, my sisters and my brother. And continues to do, although she doesn't really know that now. But my mum was, she got me to where I was, and she is the resilience that I display. I remember times when she was telling me about the people at work when she worked in hospital, and Sister Halpin. I always remember that name. I don't even think I met Sister Halpin, who always used to give me mum grief. So my mum went through what I'm going through, and I'm going through it, and she got through it.
Yeah, and you'll get through it. Yeah.
I knew I would get through it. So the Carpenters for me is my mum. So I'm just going to say On Top of the World.
Right, okay, beautiful. And I love the story to it as well. So you've got in your 50s.
In my 50s.
Yeah. You got married in 2013 to Dave, who I've seen before. Lovely Dave that wanted a little look in the camera.
Attention seeking.
Upset it's not all about him.
Yeah.
And you've got Ashley.
Yeah.
You've got a good relationship with her.
I have now. It was hard.
Yeah. Oh, I've been there, wore the t-shirt. Yeah, write a book.
Yeah.
And so you've got into your 50s. And what's happening for you?
Life is good in my 50s because I'm sort of in a place. I'm in a place where I can assist. I'm in a place where I have a voice that can be heard. I'm in a place where I feel I'm 50. What can you do to me? Really.
How did you get into the police force?
So I was working in education. I'd started working in social work, and then I was tired. I really was tired, and
They say social work burnout is after 3 years.
Mine was a little bit more than that. I went into training, and I went into work in universities and colleges. So I went into teaching, and it was difficult there as well. The discrimination and the racism is there massively. And I went into teaching, and I remember getting a job, and they said the job's going to be advertised, and I said, oh, I don't really want to be a lecturer. And they said, no, it's not a lecturing post. So I went for the interview, and there were 7 people interviewing me, and I was just like the Gemini, the good twin, and the not so good twin. The good twin was saying, get on with the interview. The evil twin was saying, you don't really want it, Elaine. Just sack it now. Just get out and change direction with your life. And the good twin's saying, but you don't know what else to do, Elaine. And the bad twin's going, just have a go. Anyway, I didn't get the job, and I just said, I'm going to stop. So I got married, moved into a new house, and I called it semi-retired, unemployed. It was a place I'd never been before, because I'd always moved from job to job, and I was scared. But I took 7 months off, and I watched the flowers grow.
Yeah.
I just took 7 months off. I was practicing being a lady of leisure, but I didn't have the money. And then when the money ran out, I decided I was going to get a job, and the job at training at the police was that was there, and it was meant to be. Oh, sorry. In between that, you say what was my interest? I became a magistrate. Sorry.
Oh, great. Yeah. I've got a few friends that are magistrates. Yeah.
You know what? Go do it, because that really that was great. So
how long did you do that for?
2008 to 2015.
So that's a good stretch, yeah.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. And our cohort, when we were sworn in, I swear I looked around and I just thought, where are all the white people then? Because they keep telling me they just keep appointing white people. Ours was the most diverse and the most true, to be honest. So yeah, I would say anyone do magistracy.
Yeah.
So I was doing that, and then I thought I need to get a job, and then something in the paper for police training. And the first thing I thought was, wow, they never have those jobs for normal people to apply for. It's usually just given to a retired police officer or something. So I thought, go on then, I'll have a go. So I had to go, got the job. And nobody was more surprised.
Non-retired person.
And I kept being told that by my colleagues, oh, you're very lucky, Elaine, because a retired police officer, a retired sergeant went for this job, and you got it. And I was going, well, they mustn't have been very good then, if I got the job and they didn't.
Yeah.
My language was a little more choice than that, but in essence, that's what I was being told.
Yeah.
The job, not your skills, will complement what we do. And then I came in, joined BAPA, and so I was 50 when I joined the job.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, that was great. What did I do?
So you can talk a bit more now about, you were saying about the challenges, and your mum had the challenges and you have. And
I think it was easier. I have said it was easier growing up when you knew who your enemy was. But now that your enemy is it's unseen. And it's a lonely job, because I don't know who my enemy is. I just know that the system needs an overhaul. And I keep asking the question. So I'm 55 now, and I ask the question of the police, why are we still talking about something? If it's good enough for us to talk about, why don't we do something about it? Why has nothing been done? Why do we keep having to prove ourselves? Because you want to see whether what we're saying is true or not. I think I don't know whether they want to get it or they don't want to get it, but it's just really
Probably
difficult.
a bit of both.
And it's just very difficult. So
I think a lot of it's, I think some of it's fear as well.
I think some of it is fear.
Yeah.
But it's never going to be the level and the depth and the breadth of the fear that I've lived.
No.
In every space and crevice.
Yeah.
And every person has lived just to get on and get by. Have I stopped talking? No. Am I angry? I don't think I'm angry at anything, because that wouldn't be part of the solution. So I carry on, but I always say the strength in numbers. So the more people that will, first of all, in the organisation, we've got an apprenticeship scheme. Our young people come and be apprentices. Come and work in where we work, come and be part of the organisation, come and be an apprentice in my team, and then I can walk things through you, go into places that have apprentices that we need you to be in. It's a good place to be. I've worked in some organisations, and the police force is the only organisation that gives me the opportunity to meet a group of Black people, and I still get paid for doing that.
Yeah.
Is the police, are there issues that need to be fixed? Massive.
Yeah.
Are they in local authority? Yes. Are they in education? Yes. They're everywhere. Do the police need your help, our help, in fixing? Of course they do. And it really does takes people with resilience to join us. And I know we've got loads of people out there that can do that. They asked me, I've had some really troublesome issues, and people go, well, why do you still do it? Why don't you just leave? I can't just leave.
Not in your nature to do that.
I can't just leave. I will leave when it's right, and I know it's, but it's not right, and so I can't just leave. The door is open. I'm stood there with saying, "Come on in." The door's open.
Yeah.
Join me. That is what I want to do. Am I good at it? No. I try my best.
Yeah. I hear you.
I try my best.
So you're in your 50s. You've got Dave, your husband. You've got your daughter Ashley. You've got a huge job, lots of responsibilities, and there's challenges there as well. So what do you do in your spare time?
Bappa, if I tell you now, right?
Oh, wow.
My mum is Antiguan, and I was looking at one of these Antiguan books for tourists, and in it was talking about the jail, first prison in Antigua. And the first man in the jail was one of my ancestors.
Wow.
He was one of my uncles. He was a tanner. And first of all, I just thought, oh God, I'm from a family of wrong uns, until I read why this man was in prison. He was a union representative, and he was standing up for his men and women. He got put in prison for standing up for his men and his workers. He got put in prison. The first person in the jail was one of my ancestors, and he got put in prison for standing up for people.
Well done.
That, I think, although my mother, I have the tanner blood, because that's what I try and do.
Yeah.
I'm still learning, I'm still getting there, and I would take the help from anybody, everybody. But for me, that's what I promise to do, and is support people when they need supporting.
Yeah.
And
so I know we've got COVID and everything, but are you still writing and reading?
No, I to be honest, the writing, I promised myself I would start doing that. The writing and reading sort of left me the opportunity to write and read I write reports. I have to read things to write reports. I'm
Right.
very process driven, and I want to get back to just reading because I
Pleasure.
reading, and I don't seem to have the time for that. So maybe I need to change my job in order to do.
Yeah.
I need to do what needs to be done. And maybe I'm not doing it right because other people find time to read.
Yeah. It
And
is time management. And
yeah,
what I've realised is those people who say, and you know, I'm a spiritual counsellor, so I mean it in that content as a professional. But when people say, oh, I don't have time, it means they do. It just means that they've got to shuffle things around and look at the realistics of what they're doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Throughout my life, though, I think I've battled. I've lived with illness.
Yeah.
So, the illness has taken its different forms.
Yeah.
So I hope I'm not making excuses, and I think I'm getting back to a place where I recognised recently that I miss being academic. I miss reading, and I miss doing that, and I miss creating the things that I used to create.
Yeah.
Because I've been involved in a lot of process, and I need to find the time to get back to it.
And with this new lockdown coming on, is there any scope in the next month that you could bring some of that in? Or will your work just be the same?
I need to do things like exercise.
Yeah.
I really need to exercise, and I need to. I like projects. So through the years, Dave and I'm very good at DIYing with Dave.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So.
So tell me some of the things that you've done in DIY.
Well, I understand how to lay wooden flooring. I understand put the screed down to level up floors. I can put with skirting boards. I'm good with painting.
Wow.
Tiling. So I can lay my hands to things. I don't like plumbing because I don't like dirty water.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can lay my hands to a lot of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to start our project not before time.
Okay.
Not before time, but I like doing things like that.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad, because I wanted to. I'm glad that you've got something else apart from your work and the family.
Yeah.
Another kind of interest.
I think they're just that, really.
So 2 things now as we come to the end. One is your track for your 50s.
I'm gonna go Aretha.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go. There's one. So in my 50s. Do you know what? I've started going soul music again.
Yeah.
So there's one called "Never Gonna Lose My Faith" by Aretha.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go with that because
I think that's a fit for you, that.
Yeah.
Especially with the challenges at work and stuff as well. I think that's a really good fit.
Yeah. So yeah, and there's another one. So I'm not the greatest. I don't really appreciate reggae music as much as I should.
Yeah.
Could. But there's another one that I've been listening to, and it's is it Spanner Banner? Spanner Banner. Life Goes On.
Right, I've not heard of that. I might know it, but I've not realised who the author is. Who the singer is, sorry.
It's just about, that's been really helpful, Never Gonna Lose My Faith and Spanner Banner, because it just says everything's happening around us, but life goes on, and every day another baby's born.
Yeah, very much so.
And that has grounded me a lot.
Yeah.
So it's, okay, Elaine, you've got worries, you've got troubles, things aren't great, but there's a new life.
Yeah, very
new
much
life,
so.
New hope.
Yeah. This morning I was walking and I thought of, after Boris doing his little performance last night, I was thinking there's something about hope and trust is what we need for the next month.
Yeah.
Because if you've got no hope, you've lost everything, and the trust anchors you. And I think the two need to be around us a lot over this next month. I
struggle with trust.
Yeah.
And the people I've been around and the situations I find myself in, I struggle with trust. Everyone says to me, "Oh, you're very, you've got good morals and integrity," and yeah, I have, and that's because if I haven't, I just don't. I would never ask a good friend to have my back if I'm lying.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ask anyone to do that. So, but I tell the truth because I don't want to rely on anyone to back me up.
Yeah.
So the truth is the truth, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
My truth and somebody else's.
Yes,
so
it's theirs. Yeah.
I'm never going to ask for a favour from somebody, and to ask that favour, you've got to trust them.
Yeah.
And I 100% trust. I have some.
Yeah.
But I just trust me to have my own back.
There's also the trusting in, like faith and that type of trust, not the practical trust with people, but the spiritual faith type of trust that anchors you as well.
I very much believe that all the way through my life, I don't know who it is, what it is, there's somebody over me. I don't know. I thank them. And I believe that somebody's watching over me, and someone has guided me through the complexities and challenges that I've had. I remember having an operation and waking up, and the first thing I saw was the brightest light ever. And then I saw the light and I smelt flowers. And that day, waking up from an operation, I just thought, "You've got me." I don't know who, but I just thought, "You've got me." And that was the day that I realised there's something, somebody is
holding you and has got your back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well done.
I leave it to them.
Yeah.
So they've taken me to places where I'm thinking, what am I doing here?
Yeah, I know that one. And
then you just think, just trust. Just trust.
Know that one. So before we leave, some words of wisdom for the listeners.
Oh, words of wisdom. I would say, know who you are and know your worth.
Yeah.
If you don't know who you are, then nobody else is going to see how bright, how shiny, how talented, how true, how honest. They won't know you. So you've got to know who you are. And I got to know who I was in my quiet moments, in my moments of when I was low, just being quiet with myself. And I got to know myself, the good, the bad, the ugly. And even when I say the good, the bad, the ugly, it's you, that's me.
Yeah, that's who you are.
And without the bad and the ugly, I'd just be a shell. I'd just be something that wasn't real.
But we've all got that in all of us.
So I just say, no, take a moment to understand who you are.
Yeah.
Somebody's mother, you're somebody's sister, you're somebody's auntie. But I know who Elaine is.
Yeah.
I quite like her, and I don't mind if other people don't.
Yeah.
I quite like myself, and that's my words of wisdom.
Well done, and thank you.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
It's been really nice getting to know different layers, and you've got such a beautiful beaming smile as well, Elaine. And you've all the way through the interview, it was like 90% it was there, and it was just so infectious and lovely. So thanks for that as well. No, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So I'm going to let you go, and it was a pleasure having you here, and we'll be in touch about the edits and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And yeah.
You're welcome. And I know we're together tomorrow night as well.
Thing has just come through, so yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Okay. You take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.